Thank you, Wendy. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Liu from Boase, Cohen and Collins in Hong Kong. I'm the second most senior person in the firm, specializing in commercial matters. Now, national security laws are common in jurisdictions around the world. However, when we mention the term national security law or NSL, most people would associate it with the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region National Security Law, which the National People's Congress Standing Committee enacted for adoption in Hong Kong via Annex 3 to the Basic Law on 30th June this year. The Basic Law is the mini constitution of Hong Kong. Annex 3 concerns only national security, diplomatic, and other affairs which do not belong to the high autonomy area of the Special Administrative Region. There was an unprecedented year of civil unrest in Hong Kong before the enactment of the law. What sparked the unrest? That was in the summer of 2019, the Hong Kong government attempted to introduce an amendment to the existing extradition law, which would allow for the first time extradition of suspects to jurisdictions including the mainland China. And this sparked mass demonstrations, some of which descended into violent confrontations between protesters and police, and the proposal was eventually withdrawn. However, the protests morphed into a wider movement against the government and police. Protests were hijacked and turned into riots, shops were raided, public transport facilities were damaged, civilians of different views were beaten up in the streets, and in an extreme case, even set on fire. The onset of COVID-19 in the early part of this year effectively stalled the civil unrest, although there were still sporadic outbreaks. After watching and waiting for many months, the Chinese government finally acted. In May, it announced it would draft a new national security law to be inserted in Hong Kong's basic law. It should be stressed that as the sovereign state governing Hong Kong, China is entitled to do this. It should also be noted that Hong Kong was supposed to make its own such law pursuant to Article 23 of the Basic Law, but had failed to do so in the past 20-odd years. Generally speaking, the NSL forbids acts of secession, i.e. separating Hong Kong or other parts from China. Subversion, overthrowing the power or authority of the central government. Terrorism activities and collusion with foreign or external forces. And the offenses carry heavy sentences upon conviction. Now here are some key points. The Chinese government has set up a security office in Hong Kong to oversee the implementation of the law. The Hong Kong police have set up a new national security department to investigate alleged offenses. In certain exceptional circumstances, suspects can be transferred to mainland China to face trial there. 4 months since the law came into effect, supporters say it has restored stability. Detractors insist freedoms have been restricted. Now, fallout from the NSL has also been notable. Events are some countries have suspended extradition treaties with Hong Kong. The US has ended Hong Kong's preferential trading status with it and imposed individual sanctions on officials of Hong Kong and mainland. The UK has reviewed a pathway to eventual right of abode for potentially some 3 million Hong Kong residents. And of course, both the UK and Chinese government say that the other has breached the Sino-British Joint Declaration. Now, meanwhile, banks have been told by the Hong Kong Monetary Authority to report any financial transactions they believe might violate the NSL, just as they would with suspected incidents of money laundering or terrorism financing. And just recently, the Hong Kong police launched a new multi-platform hotline for the public to report suspected violations of the law. What does the NSL mean for individuals, companies, and organizations? Now, at the risk of stating the obvious, everyone should be fully aware of and comply with the law. And we should stress that anyone with a business in Hong Kong should pay particular attention to whether any funds or properties they receive, provide, or process will be used to support activities that may be perceived as endangering national security.
Alex, 1 minute.
It should be also noted that the NSL has global reach. It applies to offenses committed both in Hong Kong and overseas, whether by Hong Kong residents or companies incorporated in Hong Kong, or even non-residents. In closing, it should be noted that the law has not produced the mass arrests that some people might fear. Less than 30 people have been detained thus far, and only 2 formally charged. Like everywhere, Hong Kong has been affected by the coronavirus pandemic, but the NSL has not had any noticeable effect on business. The Chinese government has stated from the outset that the law is there chiefly as a deterrent to end civil unrest and restore stability. At this stage, it appears to be doing just that. That's it.